Annual return of GST for financial year 2022 to 2023. Goods and Services Tax (GST) returns are to be filed either monthly or quarterly depending upon the category of the GST registered individual. However, if your annual turnover is above ₹2 crore, then there is also an additional annual compliance as you need to file GST return using GSTR-9 and GSTR-9C forms if required. The last date to file GSTR-9 and GSTR-9C along with GSTR-9 for FY 2022 से 23 ए 2023 से 24 is 31 दिसंबर 2023. Filing of GSTR-9 or GSTR-9C. Some specified GST registered persons have to file both GSTR-9 and GSTR-9C. Is mandatory for every GST registered individual. This is an additional compliance since either every month or every quarter, depending upon the category of the taxpayer, a GST return in GSTR Form 3B and GSTR Form 1 has to be filed, says Deepak Gupta, Associate, Surmax Consultancy Services Law Firm. Who has to file GST annual return? According to an FAQ on the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs (CBIC) website, all taxpayers are required to file GSTR-9 if the annual turnover is above ₹2 crore. However, if your annual turnover is over a specified threshold, you need to file GSTR-9C as well. Moreover, such taxpayers whose turnover is above a specified threshold also have to get their accounts audited by a chartered accountant or cost accountant and then submit a copy of the audited annual accounts and reconciliation statement. GSTR-9 is mandatory for those taxpayers whose annual turnover is above ₹2 crore. GSTR-9C is mandatory for those taxpayers whose annual turnover is over ₹5 crore. GSTR-9 is mandatory for those taxpayers who have registered for composition scheme under GST, says Gupta. The GST Council has been extending the exemption to file annual GST return to people below a certain threshold each year starting from the financial year 2017 से 18 to 2022 से 23. The continuance of exemption for the year 2023 से 24 will depend on whether the GST Council extends it again. GSTR-9C cannot be filed independently. For filing GSTR-9C, prior submission of GSTR-9 is necessary. This self-certified document, GSTR-9C, assures that audited financials align appropriately with the information in GSTR-9, says Siddharth Surana, Director, RSM India, a business consulting group. What is the last date for filing GST annual return? The last date for filing GST annual return is 31 दिसंबर 2023 for FY 2022 से 23 ए 2023 से 24. However, a GST registered individual won't be able to file GST annual return if he/she did not file their monthly or quarterly GST return first, says Gupta. He adds, the GST portal will not permit the taxpayer to file his GST annual return if he did not file his GST monthly or quarterly return for all the months or quarters, respectively for the given financial year. Continuous non-compliance can have serious consequences. If a taxpayer has not filed GST monthly or quarterly return as applicable to him for 6 consecutive months or 3 quarters respectively, then his GST registration may be cancelled. However, cancellation does not necessarily absolve you from the responsibility of filing an annual GST return. The annual return needs to be filed even if the taxpayer has got his registration cancelled during the said financial year. People who are mandated to file annual return also get a last opportunity to rectify their mistakes without any penalty. If there is any mistake during the year and less tax is paid, that can be rectified and extra tax including penal interest can be deposited through the RC-03 form, and details of that payment has to be updated in the GST annual return, says Abhishek Rajaram, Senior Partner, Abhishek Raja and Associates, a Delhi-based CA firm. In case of missing to file the annual return or pay,
If the video is beneficial for then do like, share and subscribe.